Tony says, "Hey, Bradley, how important is authentic content right now? I see everyone is just generating text via AI and polishing it a bit. Very few pages actually still have their own authentic style content. And I miss those days when I got hooked on a good article. I haven't seen this in a while, so I guess this is no longer important." No, actually, it is. In my opinion, it's very important. And again, this is funny because we just talked about this last week on the Mastermind webinar. We were talking about Noatoa, and we were talking about, um, you know, the importance of publishing a lot of content, branded content, because the large language models, when, large language models want to satisfy the user. Like they desire to satisfy the user. So when a user queries a language model or a chat and asks to provide, information, an answer about something or another, the language models will provide authoritative and convincing answers, even if it's completely fabricated. And it's because they are trying to please the user as opposed to just being honest and saying, we don't have enough information to provide a proper or an accurate answer for that. That's what they should do, but they don't. Instead, they just provide these bullshit answers that they fabricate in a very authoritative and convincing way. And so a lot of people don't even fact check this stuff. I know I've probably been, you know, a victim of that myself without even recognizing it, especially in early chat usage days. Now I understand that there's a lot of hallucinations and fabricated facts and things like that. So I tend to be a little bit more vigilant about confirming and verifying, validating stuff that the language models produce. But what I'm saying is, um, so we had a big discussion about this last week in the same webinar that I was just talking about. We were talking about Noatoa and publishing branded content across multiple platforms because different language models ingest content from different platforms. So publishing content consistently that paints your client's companies in a favorable manner or a favorable light, so to speak, and then publishing that content out across many, many different platforms is possible because you don't know which language models ingest content from which platforms. That gives you a greater chance of being able to manipulate those answers or to have content available for the language models to then develop or create answers from instead of just fabricating stuff, right? All of this stuff is important. So as I was talking about in the webinar last week is, I spent a lot of time through the rank bridge process that I've been learning from Peter Drew, which is again, how to manipulate language models and AI answer engines. It's a very tedious process that Peter's got, but I've been working through it, albeit slowly, but working through it for the last many weeks now. And what it does is it tells you to go out and create a bunch of assets that you're going to be publishing content to. Then you publish a shit ton of content. But the content, before you publish any content, you train a chat model, right? You train whatever. I'm using X excuse me, Grok. I prefer Grok over any of them personally. I just like using it. So I've been using Grok for this, but you go in and whatever language model or AI chat you want to use, you want to select one of them, and you want to train a chat and train it to on in your voice or in the company's voice that you're providing the services to. So like in your client's company's voice, right? And so how do we do that? Well, for me, what I did with and let me just see if I can demonstrate this. I'll pause the screen for a minute. I can give you guys an example of this really quickly. I can show you. Let me see. I'm trying to think of which way I want to show you guys this. Take a look at. Give me 1 second. History. Here we go. Okay. So here we go. This is it. I'll show you exactly what I've been doing in RankBridge, the training from Peter Drew about this, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So, all right. So this says, just kind of a quick rundown, guys. So it says, I am creating a new project using RankBridge, and I will be using my tree service directory, treecarehq.com, as a case study. Here's a description of what we do at TreeCareHQ. So I'm getting to a point here, and that is you can take content from a company, one of your clients that you're working with, right? If they have been producing content, then you can take content from them and feed it into a chat. And you can tell the chat, you are a world-class copywriter that specializes in writing copy to promote, tree care services for tree care companies that serve their local markets, right? Um, here is some content that you can review or ingest or whatever that is in the company's voice. And then you're basically creating a persona with a chat, an AI chat, that is going to then write copy, right, or produce content in the voice that you have fed into it based upon the examples that you fed into the chat, right? So I got a description about what Tree Care HQ does, right? And then I say, I asked about 10 terms that I can choose from for like in question format about, how so that I can start developing um the voice and the tone and everything based around questions and all of that. Then it says I'm setting the next question is what qualifications, certifications, awards does the business or individual hold, etc. So then I talk about, there's I just go through this prompt chaining process, which is all kept into one chat. Then you save the chat. And then once you've trained it, now you can produce. Let me give you another example just really quickly, because that one's specifically about pitching marketing services to tree care contractors. But I do want to show you another one that's, I think, it's a little bit more condensed. It's not quite as long. I've been working on this RankBridge prompt chain for weeks. Because it's that tedious. There's a lot to do. But let me show you the DHA services copywriting. This is one that I just did fairly recently because of the like nurture sequences for selling DHA services. And so here's an example. By the way, I always start with I need some prompt writing help. I found that all I got to do is tell them what it is that I want to do. And then they will actually, the language model will produce the prompt for me in a way that is going to work a hell of a lot better than if I just try to write it myself. So that's what I did. Prompt for a persuasive email sequence with 5 emails. So then it says, okay, here's the overview, the strategy overview. And I wanted a PAS framework, problem, agitate, solution framework with 5 emails in the sequence. That's what I asked it to do, and it did. So it's giving me email 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which problem, agitate, solution, hook, sense of urgency or whatever, all of that. And then I say, okay, here's the context. The email sequence will be sent to a contact, a local tree service company owner that attended a discovery call where I addressed some issues found that are preventing them from getting as many job leads from Google search as they could be. My company, Tree Care HQ, provides 3 low-cost front-end services. Now it's 4. We added a 4th one that can start to improve the client's presence in local search. And I reference those 3 services. I need a persuasive email sequence for each of these 3 services offered. Let's start with the sequence for the lead generation websites. That's the LLG websites. So there it is. Boom. Here we go. These are the prompts. Those aren't the emails. These are the prompts specifically to write the email sequence for that first service offering, right? So then, hold on, I'm getting to a point because we still haven't got to my voice yet, have we? No, right now we're just getting the prompts together. Okay, we're giving it some context. We're asking it to write the prompts, but we have not added my voice or my tone to it yet, my personality to it yet. That's coming. All right, so then it says, these are great, thanks. Please proceed with the prompts for the next service, Google Business SEO. So then we get 5 prompts for Google Business SEO. These are great, thanks. Let's proceed with the next one, review management. So there's our 5 prompts for the review management sequence. So then I say, okay, I will now ask you to draft these emails. We will do this one at a time so I can review each and make adjustments to the copy or to the prompt to fine-tune them to my liking. So here's the author context, right? Author context and author voice. And this is what you guys can do for your clients if they have any content that they've produced. Or find an authority or subject matter expert in the industry that you're working in and go extract a bunch of content that they've produced and feed it in and just state this is the style and the tone that I want to use for this company, right? It doesn't have to be content in the specific company's tone or voice or whatever. If they have content with their own kind of unique style and everything else, by all means, yes, you want to feed it in. That way the AI can generate content that is very similar and it sounds like it came from them. But if they don't have that, which a lot of local businesses don't, because they don't spend a lot of time writing copy for their website and everything else, then you can go find a subject matter expert and successful marketers in that industry and find content that they've produced that you and the client like, and then feed that into the chat and say, use this as your exam to model your tone after, so to speak. right? So it says, I will now ask you to draft these emails. Well, excuse me, I already said that. Author context. Below are some resources that you can use to develop the author voice for writing these emails with Bradley Benner's tone. That's me. I'm a local marketing and SEO professional, blah, blah, blah. A little bit of history. And then I've got professional biography, which I have available for when I go on podcast interviews. You know, they always ask for that. So that's just a G doc. There's videos from my YouTube channel, right? There's podcast interviews that I've been on. So I fed a few of those into there. Again, YouTube videos. And in the author voice, you are Bradley Benner, a digital marketing professional that specializes in helping tree care companies grow through low cost yet effective marketing lead generation services and by installing systems into his clients' operations, thus helping their company to be more efficient, easier to manage, and promotes revenue growth. Right. So it's just, again, I just go through this kind of feeding it information so that then now Grok can act as me and draft things in my voice. And I've talked about this before. These emails came out way better than I could have ever done it myself. No kidding. Because I have a problem in whenever I write, I cannot write in the informal tone that I speak in. For some reason, I find it impossible to write in an informal tone. I can't do it. It just bothers me. So I always write a hell of a lot more formally than I speak, if that makes sense. And so, but after going through this exercise one time, I realized that this is the only way I should ever be writing copy anymore, is by because now this copy is now written in my tone as if I were speaking to these tree guys. But had I written these emails, they would have been a lot more formal, just to be clear. And so by the time I got done with this, I was like, man, this is really good because these actually sound more like they came from me than if they actually came from me. Because when I write, I polish them a lot more, if that's clear. So to answer the question, is authentic content important right now? Yes, I think so. Because I think not only do I think Google is looking for, patterns in AI generated content, um, with the syntax, all of that kind of stuff. I think Google is becoming better at being able to detect that stuff. I still don't think it really matters a whole lot whether it's detected as AI content or not, as long as it's helpful. Again, I don't think that's super, super important just yet. But I think Google is getting better at determining that and will reward content, if not yet, will be at some point in the near future. Will be rewarding content that has its own unique style or tone, so to speak. But you can develop that style into the AI chat so that you can still have the AI produce the content just with that unique or specific style and tone. Okay. And it's worth it, guys, because you see like that, guys, this has been trained. So as a matter of fact, I just used it again today. Let me show you. Um, where did I use it today? Yeah, sorry, right here. Okay. Remember, guys, earlier on the call, and look, we're going to make it to 5 p.m. after all. Always do. I was just talking about using this contact form service, right? This one right here. I purchased this today. And so I start your campaign. Right here is where I put my name, company name, phone number, email. Then it says continue to campaign details. See, it's already got my information here. Let me just show you really quickly. So I want to demonstrate this right there. Okay. Do it again. Okay, right here. Types of businesses to target, tree service companies, geography to target, United States. And in my message copy. So what did I do? I went straight to this exact same chat where I fed all of that information in. This is now where I create all of my marketing copy for Tree Care HQ services, right? Because I went through the process of feeding this chat all of this stuff. And so I came here today and I said, this was just earlier today. I will now be sending tree care companies a pitch for the reviews management service via contact forms on their websites. This should be one message, not a sequence. Since this is a cold contact and will be done via contact forms, the copywriting should be succinct and contain a strong and compelling call to action to contact me, Bradley Benner, for more information. Please draft 3 separate messages to accomplish this. Here we go. Boom. Take a look. I ended up using version 3. Hey, company name. Weak Google reviews are pushing tree jobs to your competitors. I'm Bradley Benner with Tree Care HQ, helping tree services like yours stack 5 stars since 2014. Fact, 90% of homeowners check reviews before calling. No reviews or bad ones means they're dialing someone else. Our review management service is low cost, and I put $99 in parentheses there. Easy and gets you more 5 stars fast, boosting your ranks and calls, I put boosting your online exposure and calls in your town or your area. We manage it all. We manage it all. You just see the jobs roll in. Don't let a quiet profile cost you another season. And I think I changed that to say, don't let a low reviewed profile or something like that. And it says reply or call me at, and I said reply or text me at, because I don't take cold calls. So I said reply or text me at, and I put my phone number to get the details and start winning more work. Act now. Every missed review is a missed job. Then my phone number, and I put my name, and then I put my email address. So again, just pointing that out, like I use this specifically today to then draft a contact message that would be submitted via contact forms. So do I think it's important? I do. I think it's really important, because not only that, but if the content, like you just mentioned, Tony, you said, I miss the days when I got hooked on a good article. Yeah, and that's what tone can do. Tone and style can take a boring topic and add and make it more exciting, more engaging, right? And so I think it's important, right, to, even if the companies or your clients don't have any content or their own kind of unique style and voice, et cetera, which many of them do not, especially local businesses, go find marketers and copywriters in the industry that are doing well, and feed their content in and say, now I want you to model this tone and style in the copy that you write for this campaign. Okay.